to the third year, and even to while they're apostles, and you see some growth. The only person that we know that did not have to grow into being holy was Jesus. The rest of us do. And so with someone like her, the frustration is coming out. We do need to offer. Now, I don't know what people have been criticizing her and this other guy about. I have no idea, and so I can't speak on that. But I would caution us to be a little bit careful. The critique towards someone who's a pastor and someone who knows better is different than the person who is new to Christ. I even have it to where my criticism towards someone who might.
Shalom, giving our praise to my Heavenly Father. His name is Yahweh by Shem, Shah by Shem Kadash. The honors to the apostles and elders of the world. Peace and these salutations to Yakim that's toiling in this truth. Now, this guy is making a whole video about how people are treating what's her name, Christian Young Rock, the wife of Blueface, and her antics, and although she claims to be a Christian, and more than likely rightfully so. I don't keep up with her, but we all know what type of woman she is. And you Christians, man, you have so much to say about us, and our understanding about the Bible, but when it comes to your faith and the tenets that you believe, it's based off of emotionalism. It's based off of how you feel, and not the rules and regulations of the scriptures that embody the Old Testament and the New Testament. Okay, you get caught up in your feelings, and not the will of the Heavenly Father, right? Emotionalism refers to an excess or undue emphasis on emotions, either in expressing them, in being swayed by them, or in using them to influence others. This is what Christianity and this is what it's used for, man. To sway others based off of emotions, right? God came from everybody. Just believe in Him. Don't worry about race. Don't worry about these things. Just believe in Jesus. But meanwhile, in this guy's very congregation, I believe he's a Calvinist, right? There's white Christian nationalists, that are racist. Yet he calls us the worst group ever because it's based off the emotions and the feelings of Esau, Edom, and not the tenets of the scriptures. This is why a guy like this, he's not going to be able to give his congregation sound doctrine in the time of trouble, right? That's coming. Here we are where, we're having these friendly ass debates and things of that nature. Well, it's getting to the point to where everybody's going to have to stand on what they believe and who they believe. If you really believe in your God, then you're going to have to stand on that, and it might get bloody, meaning you might have to be put to death for your beliefs, right? Or your certain decisions that you make, believing in certain doctrines and understandings could get you put to death. Your actions, right? And being that you don't teach really the commandments, you say the commandments are done away with, right? But you teach what? Your own opinion. And many people are going to get destroyed for that vain opinions. That opinion about Christine Rock and how people should just go easy on that was emotional. That was based off of you simping. You know what I'm saying? Which is, outrageous in the Christian church. The scandals that's allowed in these Christian church, man. We could literally go all day long on the scandals of adultery that's in these Christian churches, man. I'm talking about video after video, right? I might challenge myself to see how long I could do that. Bring up how many adultery or how much adultery is going on in the Christian church. That's allowed, right? That's okay, right? But really, you're supposed to be unallowed for that according to the scriptures. You see? But under Christianity, right, people are able to use emotionalism to sway others, which is wicked, right? And that leads to you okaying wickedness. And you can't be nice to Jake, bro. As I'm starting to learn, you can't be nice to Jake. We're not here to be nice. We're here to tell you the will of Yahweh Shemiah Shah. Fuck all that nice shit, fool. Okay? Isaiah 5:20. Woe to them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Yeah, you making her bitterness sweet. Well, you know, she just knew y'all. Y'all need to leave her alone. No, she's a whore, man. She has whorish ways. You know, she's a terrible representation of a woman. And you can't be light with that shit, bro. That's not nothing light. And you so-called Negroes, man, you have been fed a very loser mindset under the banner of diversity. Now you gotta let anybody and everybody into your space because they felt oppressed too. So you become the mascots of losers, right? The revenge of the nerds. You know what I'm saying? Your white counterparts laugh at you, and they use your platform when they're trying to sway people to believe in what they believe. Like Joe Webbing, the guy that you just so gently interviewed, right? So gently interviewed when this guy's a Edomite, right? That hates your guts. He doesn't believe that your kind should be ruling. He said it's time for the white Christian to stand up, right, and put things in order because these darkies, they can't get it right. And you ever so gently interviewed him. Meanwhile, with us, we're the worst of the worst because it's based off the emotions of who Esau Edom, right? And they use you as a tool. You're just a tool. You're a simp, you know? You're a simp, you know? And that's why the Most High is not dealing with you, bro. The Most High is going to destroy you. Let's read this one more time. Isaiah 5:20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil. That's what Christianity has done. Christianity and also wokeism in the Christian church has allowed all types of abominations, right? You know, the Mo community, if you get my drift, that's rampant in these woke churches, right? Right? All in the banner of black, so-called black Christianity, man. So the Most High is going to destroy you guys, man. Okay? He's going to destroy you. Isaiah 5:20. Woe to them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Woe to them that are wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own sight. Woe to them that are mighty to drink wine and man of strength to mingle strong drink. That's right, these philosophies of the world, right? Which I'll say this guy, smart Christian, he's not an advocate for the moral community. He's adamantly against it, right? I will say that. But his philosophy still stems from, you know, the European interpretation of the scriptures, right? So he's biased towards, you know, their thought process and what they deem right and wrong, okay? And he's an apologist, you know, saying for the atrocities that, you know, the Christian church has done, doesn't bring it up. And also, even currently, the racism that he sees in the church, all right? So he, you know, is basically, you know, a worshiper of the image of the beast, okay? So the Most High is going to destroy him for this, right? Which justify the wicked for reward and take away the righteousness, take away the righteousness of the righteous from him, right? So justifying the wicked, right? And taking away our righteousness by calling us cult leaders, right? You know, overgeneralizing us because we get on Nate ourselves, right? We get on Nate ourselves. Okay, this is not a black thing. This is an Israelite thing, which he knows what we teach, right? But you justify these guys, you know, that's in your congregation that are white supremacists, and you know, belittle us, your brother, you know what I'm saying, for your oppressor's philosophy, bro. You worship the image of the beast. That's what Christianity is. When people say Christianity is the image of the beast, no, that's not quite true. Now, it has been used as a tool, right, to uh, to propagate the image of the beast, which the image of the beast is what uh, Western culture, starting with Greek, the Greeks, the Romans, right? The Dark Ages happened to where we were ruling. They were put down in the Renaissance period, right? The Enlightenment period. This is the philosophy and the understanding of Esau Edom, you know what I'm saying, was, you know, made the hegemon of the world, right? Which that means a culture that's in dominance, right? This philosophy's ways was, you know, deemed as right. That's the image of the beast, brothers, right? And Christianity was a tool to push that understanding, okay? All right? Now this is Revelation 13, and I started at 11, and I beheld another beast coming out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, that goes into basically the political parties of America, the right and the left, right? There's two horns, and he spake as a lamb, just going into his politics, which our politics goes back to what? The Roman Empire, okay? And he spake as a dragon, right? And he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and he causes the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose daily womb was healed, which is going into Rome, right? That first beast that was taken down, that was the Roman Empire. This is the revised Roman Empire, led by the Edomites, the so-called white people, and their philosophy, their culture, their way, right, is propagated on the earth as righteous and right. And you have guys that spiritually keep that notion going, like guys like Joel Rebbe. And that was a good video that the smart Christian, I believe his name Coy, did with Joel Rebbe. You know, for what it's worth, I was entertained. You know, I like the fact that, you know, Corey let the man speak his mind on his platform, so that it was edifying, you know, because homeboy basically told you what it was. Like, look, I believe my people, they need to be ruling, okay, which goes back to what we're reading now. You know what I'm saying? We're reading about now, right? That first beast that came from came from Rome, okay, and this revised version of Rome that we're living in now, okay. Let me see if I can read up for you guys. I don't want to drift off, but I do want to edify, okay. Let's go to Romans the 14th chapter. But this is Romans 14, and we'll get straight to the point. Romans 14 and 9, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand. Now going back to what we just read in the latter of this precept right here, it says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, that image of the beast, right, which is the culture of this place. Because what's interesting is you have people out there that might not take that MOTV, but they might worship the way of, the image of the beast, so they're going to be destroyed that way, that embodies Christianity, right? Especially Calvinism, which is very racist, very, very much so. Okay, so check this out, because the image of the beast is separate from the mark of the mark of the, all right. So, and the angel and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture in the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstones in the presence of the holy angels, in the presence of the Lamb. That's right. So everybody worshiping this way of life, they're going to be destroyed. And Christianity has again been a tool for white supremacy to spread its philosophies on the earth. And you will be, like my elder Ariala says here, you'll be intellectually dishonest if you couldn't agree upon that, and not only agree that that happened, and also it's still alive and well in these philosophies, right? Or in these denominations of Christianity, in your very denomination. So the hypocrisy is outrageous, man. And also, bro, you're a simp. You're a simp. Stop simping, boy. I was going to talk about these females, but I ended up talking about something else, which I believe that's more edifying anyway. What I just spoke about. These women ain't shit. Speaking about them, how much can you articulate? That they ain't shit. All right, we get it. They ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? But Coy, bro, you're still hung up on defending these prostitutes, bro. Like, come on, bro. That's why going back to Isaiah 5:20. Woe unto you, man. You're gonna be destroyed by the Heavenly Father, brother. The Most High is not dealing with you. You know what I'm saying? He's not dealing with you, bro. And as I say this, I hope I have mercy, but he ain't dealing with you. So it is what it is. On to next. Shalom.